Welcome to This End Up, the D&D podcast that has very little to do with D&D and more to do with podcast. I am your dungeon master and host, Thomas. With me today are Felisha,
Hi.
Mike. You're not going to say hi? Okay.
Hi.
Matt.
And-
Hello.
It's our job to screw up.
Pretty much at this point, y'all are just causing me a lot of need to edit. Like, this is episode 0, the one where we're supposed to screw everything up and not know what we're doing. This is the part for the players.
Yes, we're players.
Yes.
What?
Shut up.
Please, God of this world, tell me what to do.
Wait, there's a god?
You are so not helping. Okay, intro for your characters. As your characters were living their lives in the world, they always had a sense and a need for adventure. No matter what the situation was, no matter what the story was, whether good or bad, there was always a deep-seated need for adventure. And one day, they heard a calling for adventure. So they grabbed their bags and made their way through town.
I was thrown out.
Well, you can be thrown out then. You grabbed your shit and left. Or got booted out, either way.
I got lost in the library.
You would. You made your way through the towns, through the woods, through the forest, and when you got to the place where you heard something in the back of your mind calling you to go, what you saw on the ground was a golden floating rune, about 2 feet across, hovering about 2 inches off the ground. And there was something in your mind telling you, this is the beginning of your adventure.
It's shiny.
Shiny.
As you walked forward and prepared to step on the rune, interestingly enough, everyone else that was in the area passed by it, as if they didn't see it or didn't care. But as you stepped onto the rune, there's a golden helix of blue and yellow energy starting from the rune that came around your feet, up your bodies, over your heads, and in an instant, you were gone. The next thing you see, after a crack of thunder and a quick whiff of ozone and burnt electronics, was a large metal room, almost like a warehouse. It's decently well lit and very clean. 2 more cracks of thunder, and within a few seconds, 2 other people appear next to you. Everyone, roll a d20.
What do we add to this?
Nothing right now.
I got a 9.
18.
15.
Mike, you are first.
It's like, huh. Looks like home. Where's my rune?
Fair enough. Felicia.
This isn't the library!
I turn and
What?
look.
What is this place?
What are you doing in my room?
My wings probably smack some people.
Oh, there's only the 3 of you.
Finally, out of the sun. No, wait. But, where is this? Who are you?
What are you?
Does it matter who I am? I mean, I'm asking you
I don't
two
care
first.
who you are. I'm just wondering what you are.
I'm a
This
kobold.
isn't the
I mean,
library.
can't you tell? Have you been places?
Small dragon folk, where's the library?
Well, I mean, to know that, I gotta know where we are first. I mean, last I knew, I was in the middle of a field following my adventuring crew, and now here I am.
You're in my room.
I pull out a book.
Alright, let's see here.
What did I
Okay,
get
I'm gonna
wrong?
just go ahead and start looking around to see what the layout of this room is. If there's any, defining features.
It looks like a big giant warehouse.
Alright.
Gray painted walls, plumbing and lighting overhead, metal floors, and oddly enough, to the side, there's a very large door.
I was just going to ask what a cave hole is.
Well, there's a few doors, but the one that catches your attention more than likely is the one that's covered in all of the yellow and orange safety banding that, oddly enough, none of you can read.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look over it anyways. Let's see here.
I studied my book.
You don't care at all, do you?
No, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. All I've been doing my entire life is studying. Well, considering my life is half over. I have doing. What?
Learn it person. Read that.
I can't.
Oh,
I don't understand.
okay,
these
I'm
words
gonna
coming
try
out
to
of your
see
mouth.
if I can find like a door handle or
I know 5 languages, but that's not one of them.
is there a door handle at all or like any sort of mechanism on it?
There's a small electronic-looking pad. Well, I imagine if y'all are from ye olde D&D, y'all wouldn't know what electronics are. There's a small glowing pad.
I spend
Next
like
to the door.
90% of my time in the sky. I'm not used to this.
Yeah, I spent like half my life in a cave and half my life in the blinding freaking sun. So I mean, hey, this is already better than where I was. So I'm gonna go ahead and poke the hole. Poke the button.
When you poke the button, it goes from green to red, but nothing seems to happen.
Okay.
Everybody give me a perception roll.
Perception.
Ooh, shoot. 14. Perception's wisdom, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
why not?
Yep. We'll pass the wisdom. Yep. That's a
yes.
14 plus 2, so I got 16.
11.
You don't see shit.
No, I don't see shit.
Actually, you don't really need to see much.
I punched the shiny button-looking things.
Nothing happens.
I like
It's just
books.
red. You got the highest. On the other side of the door, you hear something that sounds like a repeated buzzing or chirping sound. Almost akin to an alarm, but since you've never heard electronics, and suddenly, very loud footsteps. Very loud footsteps that are actually beginning to rattle the floor you're standing on. Think of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. You can actually feel the thump, thump, thump.
Dragon folk, did one of your ancestors kidnap us with their supreme magic?
No, it could be Mom.
Right. Well, either way, probably should, guess we can get some answer pretty soon.
It doesn't take very long before the big door chirps and begins to slide open. On the other side of this door, in the equally well-lit hallway, stands, at 22.5 feet tall, 15.5 feet wide, a very large red dragon.
Mom!
That
I'm
is no
assuming you're
The
just
leg.
grabbing legs.
That is no way to freaking treat your better half. That is no way your mother. Trust, I know a thing or two about dragons. I mean, look at me, I'm a kobold. We eat no dragons.
Like,
I know one or two things about
start
dragons,
growling.
too. Let me
And
check.
yet, you called it your mother.
The dragon just looks down at you all very confused, but smiling nonetheless. And it attempts to say something. However, you can't understand what he says.
What language?
Doesn't matter. You can't understand what he says.
Okay, and Trona can kind of try to introduce herself. Greetings, dragon. I am a humble cleric. Is there any way I can be of assistance to you?
The dragon looks down at you and shrugs just a little and leans over his shoulder and hollers something down a hallway. A few seconds later, a little droid comes rolling down the hallway. Picture Wall-E, but rounder. And it rolls up to the three of you and stops. And it starts to chatter in language after language after language, sounding like it would start in
Like cycling through.
like cycling through languages.
Kunk, 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 kunk. You okay?
It would just flail at you. You might have to actually sometimes describe what you're doing, because this is an audio medium more than a visual medium.
Knocking on its head.
Nope. It just rolls back a little, like, hang on, I haven't figured this out yet. Let's see. What are...
I also start cycling through languages. Help, I don't know where I am, I just wanted to find the library. I repeat this in Common, my native tongue, Aran, Elvish, and Gnomish.
What do you have for
I have
languages?
common and draconic.
Same thing?
Mom. In
Yeah. No.
all three.
I think when you hit the common, we'll just do this for ease sake. Otherwise, we're going to be here all goddamn day, which is probably the point. The little droid hears your common, cycles a few more languages until it hits common, and just says, "Oh, I found one, finally!" Like, wait, which planet are you guys from?
Planet.
Well, it depends on who you ask. I mean, my own home culture, we called it, the mother den. But I suppose these two would probably call it something different.
Crap, that doesn't make it any easier.
Home.
I'm from what's called the material plane of existence. Sometimes the
the material plane. You're on the third dimension outside of the other ones, and I believe that's 2062433.
and
I know where you're from.
Also the elemental plane of air, but that's only on holidays.
Greyhawk.
Yep, the little droid just kind of shrugs and turns and says something up to the big dragon, who then says something to the droid. The dragon nods and walks over to what looks like a strange console on the wall, covered in shining lights and little buttons.
I'm a little skeptical, but I follow along.
Once he gets over to the console on the wall, he pecks a few buttons, and then sticks his arm underneath what looks like a laser emitter. There's a little round device. Well, I guess for a dragon, this at this point is probably not little. It's probably the size of a dinner plate. The little device glows. After a few seconds, his body shudders visibly, and he blinks a few times, and then turns and addresses you all. It's like, is this any better?
A little. You have a good, better accent, I suppose.
What kind of sorcery is this?
Yes, Mom.
One, I'm not your mother. I would be a father?
Yes, Mom.
But I digress. 2, science. And 3, welcome to my ship. I suppose you all have many questions.
Are we at sea?
Where's sail?
Neither, and there isn't one.
I'm just waiting to see what's
This
going
is the
on.
weirdest boat I've ever been on.
I'm pretty sturdy, too.
Well, I'm not exactly sure it's technically a boat. It is a ship, and we are traveling.
It's big enough to carry my mom.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're not underground. I mean, this feels like underground. I actually like it.
Actually,
I don't.
no, actually, you are far, far from underground. And he walks over to what looks like a big black square on the wall and points out of it. Says, you're actually about, 22 million miles away from the ground.
Huh.
But how is this?
Really?
You can fly down there.
No, I can't. That's too far.
Good on your wings.
Are you sure?
I get tired eventually.
You think it'd be a lot brighter if it was up that high.
We're in outer space. We're beyond the sun.
Huh.
How would you like me to prove this? Should I turn off the gravity? Ooh, let's do that.
Oh shit.
ASCII, power down the gravity drive, rear deck. About 4 seconds later, the humming, the very gentle humming that was in the background stops. And all of you slowly go weightless.
I flap my wings a few times. This is easier than flying.
But you would have to be careful as you flap because there's no gravity to counteract you. Your thrust bumps you into the ceiling.
Oh.
Oof. I'm not liking this. I sort of feel a little sick.
I'm confused.
Okay, this is a nice trick and all, but why? Why are you showing us this trick? We get your point. Can I guess be back on the ground now, maybe?
ASCII, reactivate the gravity drive, please. And
Is gravity drive a wizard?
a few seconds later, you all go floating back to the ground, and the humming resumes. No. The gravity drive isn't a wizard. The gravity drive is actually a series of concentric rings that... Oh, we'll explain it later.
A machine that does magic.
It's not magic, it's science. Anyway. I'm sure you're all curious to know why you're here. The dragon turns and waves his hand a little for you to follow him down the hallway.
I'll follow.
And he
Follow.
starts to chat as you walk. It's like, have any of you ever heard of the Tinkerers?
No.
I heard of the
No.
phrase, but not the people.
Well, long story short, in the area that's kind of outside of all the dimensional planes, there's a group of people known as the Tinkerers. They build all of the really cool things that your adventurers and your heroes and everybody needs to do the things they're doing.
Wait. You're talking about Tinker Gnomes?
Well... Oh, wait, Tinker Gnomes. You must be from Dimension... Yeah. Okay, I think I know where you're from. As he sort of thinks off the top of his head. He's like, I know where you're from. Like, well, I guess maybe sort of like the gnomes of your world, except these guys are a bit of everything.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen them per se, but I've read about them in books.
Like, well, it's probably like what you're thinking. Anyway, they make all of the things that your heroes need. And, well, what I do here on my ship is we deliver those things. Now, I guess I called you all here. You guys are looking for adventure, right?
I mean,
You're
yeah.
looking to see
Wanted
something
to
cool?
Find the biggest library.
Oh, you'll want to see it. It's really cool.
You've been there?
Oh, yeah. It's an entire planet that's made into nothing but a library.
I'm gonna move there.
Open parentheses. Spoiler alert, I may have stolen it from Doctor Who. Close parentheses. I have to look it up on Doctor Who to remember what the hell it's called.
Well, that seems a noble as goal as any, I think. I mean, libraries are pretty nice. They're not war, so that's right. Gets bonus right there.
It's like, well, sometimes where we go, we'll go into war zones, but it's not necessarily that we're gonna fight the war as much as we're delivering,
I normally fly above them anyways.
It's like, well, I mean, you kind of have to get down in it in order to deliver the thing you're gonna deliver to the guy. Or girl, hey, we're inclusive here. But I called you all here because you want adventure. You're seeking something. You're looking for someone, somewhere. You want to do more, right?
I just wanted books.
Well, you say books, but you wouldn't have answered my call if you weren't looking for something more.
More books?
Heck,
We'll put a pin in that. How about you?
I'm looking basically just to, see life on my own terms. I've been following this guy around for half my life now, and I'm ready to start my own quest for you guys. But
Excellent. See? He answered the call. I guess you want books. What about you, Biggin?
Find a place in the world?
That's as noble a quest as any. As he continues down the hall, the hallways in this ship are actually very clean. They're well lit. They're not quite hospital clean. There's some dust on the corners and scuff marks and paint marks on the walls. But interestingly, as you move around, you'll see little droids. Some are cleaning floors, some are carrying boxes. They look like Roombas, they look like Wallies.
These are the most interesting constructs I have ever seen. They're so intricate.
You think that's cool? Wait till you see one's brain.
Organic matter?
Well, it's silicone and some copper wiring and a bit of quantum structuring and a positronic matrix, but we'll get
Are there
there.
shinies?
You mean treasure? Or just shiny things?
In them.
You're not taking apart my robots. I'll blast you into space.
That's not a good idea.
As he goes down towards the end of the hallway, there's a big stairway. He takes you up a stairway and onto what would look like a ship's bridge. I guess if you guys would know what a ship would look like. Except here, you see consoles. There's buttons everywhere, there's carpeting on the floor, chairs, and right in front of everybody, there's a very large view screen. You think it might be a screen. You don't know. You've never seen this before.
Big window.
Big window. Yeah, I guess that works better than screen. And outside of this window is the moon. At least, it's a moon.
You know, I just realized something. If you're really this high up, then why aren't we getting altitude sickness? I mean, this air's just as thick as it is on the floor. I mean, really, this is all not acting up. This is not adding up at all.
Like, well, go ahead and check it all you want. You're in space. This is an artificial atmosphere. The air you're breathing has been filtered about 133 million times.
You said go ahead and check it all out. So I proceed to go over and start touching every button I possibly can.
Thankfully, the dragon has thought about this, and most of the buttons, as you push them, don't do anything except give random alerts and chimes. Yes, you may turn on some lights.
Honk the horn a few times.
Basically, that's about all that's happening.
I'm interested in the wipers.
There's some lights turning on. It's not really a wiper, I suppose, but there's not really a lot happening. It seems he has thought enough to lock things out. Once he gets to the top of the bridge, he goes to the big chair in the middle, which isn't actually a chair. It's hanging from the ceiling, and it looks like it has some strapping hanging from it. But he turns around and stands behind it and smiles. And says, "Hi. I'm captain of this ship. Captain Elijah. And this is the Lazarus." Like I said, you're actually in space right now. The reason I asked what dimensions, or at least planets, you knew you were from is because I don't necessarily direct where I send the calls for crew members. They just kind of go.
Wait, are you saying you're lost?
Oh no, I know exactly where I am. And he turns around and punches a few buttons on his console, and the big window completely changes to a view screen showing a 3D map of what looks like a solar system.
I have a question.
He's like, "Oh yes, by all means."
You said summon crew members. Where is the rest of us?
I don't really need many people to actually run the ship. What I need are the people who deliver the cool things.
Well, I suppose it's going to at least be better than my last gig. I mean, I don't mind my last friends, but anything is better than blood money.
A noble cause indeed. And he chuckles a little and turns to the little bot that followed you guys
What's better
up.
than blood money?
Not blood money.
Books?
Not like having to stitch up your friend's body, after he met the business end of a great axe.
Ooh, I had that happen once. Fingers are hard to reattach.
See, I know people like you. Unfortunately, it's people like me who have to clean up after people like you. Unfortunately, when people like you don't kill your enemies, people like me who have to bring them back up to life.
I'm confused.
Elijah's just standing there watching this conversation like, Jesus Christ.
I always kill what I mean to kill.
Well, hey, at least that's some form of mercy then.
Yes.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
They must nobly die.
I suppose. What about you? Are you interested in, I suppose, being a crew and not killing everything?
I just want books and to learn more.
Oh, the things that you can learn here. I can take you to dimensions that would blow your mind.
Literally.
And I don't
Some literally, yes.
The thing I don't understand is how is this your ship?
Because I own it, I fly it, I'm the captain of it.
The robots do it?
Well, the robots take care of the tasks on the ship.
Chain of command.
Plus, I mean, would you really trust that little thing to like
Mom,
deliver things?
kids,
Like,
fix
huh.
ship.
You know, at this point, I may trust him more than I'm trusting y'all.
Trusting who?
Like, anyway, never mind. He turns and waves his hand over toward the view screen. He says, if you look, each of these isn't a planet, it's a dimension. Inside the dimensions, there's entire universes. I travel between those dimensions.
This does look familiar. Like I seen books on it or something like that. Like I remember seeing this like in a sketch in one of the books that I picked up off of let's just say a person who didn't need that book anymore. But either way, this does seem to actually be more and more legit the more I look at this.
My clan elders used to talk about a thing called planescape.
That's also a word I'm familiar with.
Does
Interesting.
it have something dealing with that?
Like, yes and no. We are actually outside the planes.
Well, planescape is a plane of doors
So what
to
you're
other
saying-
planes.
Like, yeah, this doesn't, I mean, well, when we make our first hyper jump, I'll show you. It doesn't quite work that way, but
So you know when like it was somebody Cat's Gate, you can go to another place. This is like the place between that place.
sort of? At this point...
Spelljammer.
What?
That is also a word.
Those are words, yes.
Flying sailing ships between crystal spheres.
Like, well, I guess from
A
your planet,
Cat folk comes from there with reverse hands.
like, huh, that sounds creepy. I might have met them. I don't know. I don't leave the ship as often as I could, because most of the places that we have to make deliveries, well, they can't exactly accommodate someone that's the size of a 2-story building.
Plus,
And he shrugs.
your scales color.
Oh no, Scale's color isn't necessarily a problem. It's fitting through doorways.
Where I'm from, they're scared of you.
I've been to places like that.
Where I come from, they worship you.
Now I
I'm
want to go to
assuming
that
where you're
place.
from, they eat you?
I'm not from that place
We have
anymore,
a
though.
good
But that's a story for another day.
understanding. As long as
They
don't-
eat you, your food?
No, the
Like-
territory.
Like, no, don't eat each other. We can have lunch in the galley later. So anyway, would you guys at all be interested in, well,
I'm game.
adventure?
I'm game.
Sure.
Wanna go to the big library place?
Well, okay, you can retire there, but you might have to have a little adventure first.
As long as I can go there.
We'll put a pin in that.
Vacation.
That I never come back from.
Vacation.
That I never come back from.
Think of it this way. You can use this to get coins. Coins can be redeemed for books.
So you have to earn the coins.
Like, oh, y'all are still on a currency-based planet. Interesting.
But knowledge is shared willingly in my culture.
I mean, it is here too, but I mean, books aren't made for free.
We don't use land money.
Do you have to give something to rent the books?
They're just in the library to take as we feel.
But
But-
you have to eventually return them.
Eventually, but they belong to everyone.
Someone has to make the books. But look,
That's a good point.
we can discuss the merits of capitalism in the education system later.
Now I understand the term
That's just
gnome.
How I've always lived.
I understand the term gnome.
At that point, Elijah chuckles. He's like, if you really want some knowledge, well, as soon as you accept my invitation to be a crew member, and
I did.
Well, I know you did, but everybody else, I can allow you access to the digital libraries that are here on the ship.
What is a digital library?
Oh, it's like books, but made of electricity, I guess.
It's shocking
I don't know.
experience.
Like shocking grasp? But I don't. That's gonna
No,
be
no,
really
no.
painful to get that knowledge.
No. Like,
Oops, sorry.
like, why did I have to recruit people from the past, damn it?
I'm from the present.
Well, not my present.
I didn't get you one.
At that point, he begins to just rub his forehead a little bit frustrated. He's like, this is going to be an interesting relationship. It's like, okay, should we get you guys through
Now he wants us to-
orientation?
Now she wants us to get romantically involved with her.
Well,
I'm oriented in the proper upright position. I mean, I can't
Like,
fly very well,
no.
so I can't get in that orientation.
He's like, shaking his head, no. Company orientation, oh god. Like, ASCII, would you please give me a hand with this?
You mean like an organization?
After
Like a
a
troop.
few minutes,
Or a cult?
After a couple of minutes, the large
Yes!
the
Join
large-
cult!
And this, listeners, is what I get to deal with while trying to DM. After a few minutes, the screens on the front begin to change, and they actually show 3 images of each of you guys. The little robot rolls over in front of you and says, would you please each go and stand underneath your image?
okay. I
Yeah,
go
this
and do so.
Crowning spell is really good.
It's like, chunk, 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 chunk.
Like, okay, I guess we'll go in the same order we were in earlier. He's like, you, big guy, can you please state your full name, your age, and, well, I would say what planet you're from, but I'm not sure you know that, so I'll leave that whole blank.
Silverstone, a.k.a. Broken, age 10, Greyhawk.
As you're saying the information, underneath your picture, there's words. They're not in a language you understand, but there are words that are forming underneath your picture. He turns to you, Miss Bird Girl. He says, next.
I'm Twyla. I am of the Aarakocra race. I know some spells. I am 5 feet, and I guess I'm 15.
And again, as you were saying it, everything that you were saying is filling out on the screen underneath you. And then he turns to you. Says, alright, little lizard dude. Next.
Alright. My name's Clanton. See here, I'm about 20, I guess you could say.
Oh, you're ancient.
I guess it depends on what your age system you use.
Well, I'm technically halfway to my life max. So.
I'm about a quarter myself. I guess I'm putting in human years, I guess you would say. But, I mean, okay.
They're both fogies.
That's my age, that's my name. I guess any clan affiliations I have is pretty much moot by now, so screw it. I'm just Clanton now.
Wait, that's your clan affiliation? Screw it?
Sure, why not?
I like that.
And again, as you filled out the information, it appeared on the screen underneath your picture. At that point, Elijah turns and nods to the 3 of you. He's like, excellent. If you follow me, I'll go ahead and I'll get you fitted for your we'll call it a combat device, I suppose.
I don't want to fight.
Like, well,
I don't want either, but I mean, I have to.
We'll try and avoid fighting if we can, but sometimes, potato.
As we're
And-
walking behind, I proceed
Yep.
to say to her,
Elijah
and him,
turns and heads down the hall back to the stairs.
it's unusual, because all dragons like fighting.
Well, I'm not a dragon.
You'll eventually become one. Trust me.
Just because I can fly does not mean I'm a dragon.
You'll eventually become one. Trust me. He's halfway there.
Do I need to pause?
No.
That better not be a short joke.
Yeah, you're not the only one at the table, dear.
If I was going to tell you a short joke, I would. But you're still halfway there.
Back at the bottom of the stairs, you go back down the hall, only a few doors, and he turns. There's... Everybody give me... Oh, I guess you wouldn't have to give me a perception roll for it, but you can if you want.
No, I don't want to give you one.
No, I got 17.
My dice says no.
You'll see it. The two of you don't get it. The two of you see normal doors. They seem like they're spaced very far apart, but you see doors. What you, our kobold, sees is it's a small door inset into a very large door.
Huh. Clever.
And he goes down the hall, past two of those doors to a third one, and rather than the small door opening to let you guys in, the big door opens to let Elijah in. And he goes walking through the door. He's like, "Welcome to crew quarters!"
Tap him on the tail.
Wait, quarters plural. Dang. This is a big ship.
Like, "Oh, yes." Like, "Yes?" And he turns around and looks.
Doorception. Big fancy word. Don't know what it means.
And he nods, like, "Okay."
I think I've seen that play.
He's like, "Huh. I think we're gonna need to put you guys in the holodeck and get some education going here."
Education! Let's go.
Well, I'm always for learning stuff, but I want somewhere comfortable.
I draw my sword. Let's go.
Hey, I'm just happy to get out of the sun for once.
This is gonna be so weird. I have to walk all the time.
Like, well, I mean, you freaked out when I turned off the gravity, but... And he almost threw up, so I guess you kind of have to walk. Sorry.
Hey, I just got done with like a freaking 2-mile march today.
So, question. Do you prefer cage, or do you
Again,
prefer...
remember, this is an audio medium. You have to actually announce if you're turning and saying. And
Okay, I turn, look at her. Question.
What?
Do you prefer cage, or what?
My people have not been caged in a millennia.
I have not been caged in 2 weeks.
I spin, turn, look.
I'm
Wow.
Hey, when you're the medic, you're just glad you don't get killed along with the rest of them. So,
like 2 weeks. Jeez.
What'd
What
you
did
do?
you do?
Was it inappropriate?
At that point, even Elijah tilts his head. What did you do?
I mean, he is of Clan Screw, so...
Yes.
look, okay.
Do you wear leather?
No, I lost the bet.
He is leather.
I lost the bet, okay?
Wow, you even come with your own bondage suit.
Look, this is not a bondage shoot, because
I reach over to snap.
I
Really?
didn't get to choose it, okay? It's all they had in my size.
We're gonna really go there, are we?
Look, if you
Okay.
blame anyone, blame the freaking halflings. Because I have to steal their stuff.
I agree.
wear it.
I blame the halflings
Okay.
for everything.
Okay.
You don't have any of them on board, do you?
They're quite mischievous.
No. Thankfully, I have no halflings here, but I do deal with them occasionally. At this point, Elijah takes you all over to the crew quarters. It's actually... Well, I keep saying actually. Why do I keep doing that?
Actually, tell us what
Actually,
it's like.
let's tell you what it's like. Ah! It is set up akin to a barracks, almost. Except there is a lot more space than a traditional barracks. There's a bed, screen dividers, dressers, tables. Everything that a crew member would need for personal comfort, sleep, dressing. There are full-length mirrors. There's a full bathroom with showers, toilets.
Finally, privacy.
Yeah, don't ask Elijah how big his toilet is, because it's huge. Pretty much. You guys could. Because yes, obviously Captain's Quarters has his own.
There was a lot going through my head after his statement.
Well, that was what we were going to get to here. In each of the back of your rooms, Elijah waves his hands out and tells you, he's like, each of you can pick any one of these spaces for your own that you wish. On the side wall of dividers, there is a full-length mirror right next to a wardrobe, storage chests made of various metals and plastics, none of which you have ever seen before. And let's start with our kobold. Go ahead and use this full-length mirror. You can describe your character in more detail, equipment, etc., etc., etc.
Well, I mean, as he stands right now, he looks like he's been pretty much on a march on his feet for quite a few days. His leather armor is pretty well worn in. It's has the symbol of Apollo on his shield that's currently strapped to his back. It's a nice harp. It's pretty well. Everything's pretty well worn and well used, and it's also splattered a bit with mud. And well, you hope it's mud, more like dried blood. But he tries to keep it clean, but it's pretty hard when you're an adventuring crew. On his side, he has strapped a simple mace and a short crossbow, along with the venturing bags that are slung over his shoulder. He looks himself over. He's noticing a few spots that he hasn't quite cleaned up.
What color are your scales?
Yeah, like what's your body look like? You've described everything except you.
Okay, well, it's like a pale. I guess a scale color would be probably like a pale red. Like a more brownish red.
So you're pink.
No, not pink. It's more like a deep brown, like a brownish red sort of thing.
With a bondage uniform on.
It's not a bondage uniform. It's a very, very nice, practical looking thing.
Well, most bondage uniforms are.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just glad to have it because it saved my life quite a few times, as you can tell from all the scuffs.
I can only imagine it's really slippery.
I wish it was.
Fair enough. As you're looking over yourself, in these small cabinets, there are various sizes of what look like uniforms. They are made of... No.
Mork and Mindy?
No. Shut up. Wait, shut up, Mike! I'm not spandex, damn it! This isn't Star Trek!
No, I
We're not
specifically
wearing
said
red
Mork and Mindy.
No, actually, like I start to joke because, yeah, they'll kind of be like Star Trek.
I don't want to wear them.
It's not a red shirt, damn it!
Does it cover her wings?
No.
That'd be funny.
No, inside the wardrobe, you actually find various sizes of company uniforms. Nice blue shirts, what looks like black pants, belts, various hats. Yes, it looks like this is a proper company. Not that any of you have ever really seen what a more, I guess, modernized company looks like.
We wore uniforms. They were loincloths.
Oh, that's like these young uniforms right here. I mean,
And look at
they look
him.
nice.
I
Ow.
snap his
Is
leather
this a form
suit.
of nobility organization?
I mean, it have to be. I mean, this high quality cloth right here. I mean, you wouldn't just make something like this and just give it to some Joe on the street.
I think they did give it to Joe on the street, too.
Okay, anyway, let's leave our kobold friend here and move over to the next cubicle where lives our dragonborn friend.
Okay.
He's standing in front of the mirror looking at himself, as well as his nice new uniform. Go.
I am about 6'9". I am about 250 pounds. I have silver scales. I have 2 smaller horns going off the back of my head, straight back, kind of following my face. I have 1 platinum scale just above between the eyes. Supposedly my clan, supposedly some type of sign. My character wanted to become a paladin, but was too stupid to become a paladin. So he thinks he's a paladin. In reality, he's a barbarian with noble intentions.
Don't you have a face tattoo?
Yes. It's actually, even though it says a tattoo, it is actually an engraving on one side of his face. And it's kind of a tribal thing. He has teal eyes. He has shiny teeth. And needless to say, he's a barbarian. He has a loincloth.
Fair enough.
And the rest of his armor is just his weapons.
Does he have any things, bags, or items, or... Well, I mean, this is all... It's
Probably
just kind
an
of...
adventurer's kit.
Yeah, it's kind of what I figured.
Like, probably a backpack, type thing or whatever. Does have a tail.
Well, yeah, kind of figured that.
So, that's him.
Alrighty. The camera pans over to cubicle number 3. To Twyla.
She is, most of her feathers are going between, light gray and a charcoal gray. Her beak is black. her eyes are more of a amethyst color, so like light to dark purple. Her clothes look more like scholar robes, but because she has wings on her back, most of her shirt types are more of like halter tops. They get tied behind her neck and draped down. She also has a backpack that's mainly filled with books, writing utensils. She does have a quarterstaff. She does not wear any type of feet coverings because she has claws.
The bird feet.
Bird feet.
Bird feet.
I have bird feet.
This is where people are going to angrily email us. They're called talons, damn it! I'm like, okay. Bird feet.
But talons are her hands. She still has bird feet.
So you're saying you got talented hands?
Shut up.
I'm going to throw the cat-killing dice at you.
I guess she goes and puts most of her books and stuff and starts like organizing where she's going to try to like study and write things.
Interesting.
I have to add something to mine. I'm also carrying a violin case.
Is it filled with a machine gun instead of a violin?
No, a violin.
Good.
Ah, well, look at me. I'm just like a human. As I say, as I sort of step out from behind it.
I pinch.
Hey, look. Yes, he doesn't even do that anymore.
No, I
This
was
is number
trying
12.
to deliberately grab the
I
skin.
had to
Oh,
modify the
Ow.
clothing if that's alright.
Yes, at this point, Elijah has given y'all all a fair amount of time in the rooms. You could take showers and get dressed in whatever uniforms actually fit. And yes, you may have had to go from one cubicle to another to find clothing that would fit. But at least you're all dressed in professional.
I'm
Attire?
sitting down, like finishing up cleaning my armor again.
He's
Been
like,
scrubbing it down in the tub.
I am doing a bird cleaning of feathers.
Finally, sanitary.
after a few minutes, rather than either Elijah or the robot coming back into the room, a small hologram appears in the walkway between all of the cubicles. It is a hologram of what would be an 8-bit character. Just a little figure character, basic arms, basic legs, and a basic head, but 3-dimensional. And he turns and looks at the cubicles and says, "Ah, I see you all are in your uniforms. Would you please follow me to orientation?" And he starts to float down the hall.
All right, then I'm
ridiculous.
gonna grab my a little small burlap little pouch. I'm gonna bring that with me.
Are you planning on looting this ship?
No, actually, there's something in it.
Kobolds.
Yeah, there's something in it.
As I say, he is a kobold.
I mean, also, if the opportunity arises, I mean,
Don't steal the paper clips, damn it!
I take my greatsword.
I had a thing that y'all were supposed to get. Remember, I was so happy that I came up with a goddamn anagram for it, and it's not in the stupid Google Doc because fuck you, Google. So let me see if
No,
it is
that's a
in-
shocking experience.
I'd take a book.
Your USB adapter does not adapt without an adapter.
No shit.
So you're not fucking Google.
Look, Mike,
Oh.
I will throw the big dice at you.
oh, what language is your book in? Nice the cover of it.
In my native tongue.
Okay.
Paper.
Yeah, I look up at it a little skeptically. It's like, shoot.
It has words.
Yeah,
Yes, most books do.
I never had the luxury of being able to actually carry a book with me. I mean, other than like, a few holy scriptures, but my
Here, carry it.
Okay, I'll grab it. Oh, this is a little heavy. I mean, you read this for fun, not for study, or
Well, I mean, it's for fun and study.
I reach down, grab you, lift you up. No, the book's not that heavy.
yes, you made your point. Yes, it's high up. Yeah. Ah! Dang it.
I was just checking the book.
Again, remember, this is an audio medium. If you guys are going to pick up and throw each other, you have to
I
describe
didn't pick him up and throw him.
Yeah.
Pick him up and drop him, or throw him. Anyways, the hologram leads you down the hall to another door. Inside this room, it looks almost like a strange combination between a kitchen and a storeroom. And he takes everyone over to a countertop. It says, "Now, what I would like to go ahead and do is get each of you guys fitted for your monitoring and communication devices."
What?
He said, "Well, At this point, the hologram shifts from floating to a larger view screen on the wall.
I'm having Fallout New Vegas flashbacks.
You should be.
I've seen that play too.
You've seen a lot.
Right?
Hey, when you're with a band of traveling adventurers, as their apprentice / pack mule / medic.
Is that what she called you guys?
No.
/ whore / punching bag
That's what I was-
Hey,
I
I
don't
was
know
just
if I want to go to your plane of existence.
I don't know. It's got a bondage outfit.
It's not a bondage if it's used to save your life.
He is of clan, screw it.
I think I need to choose my words a lot more carefully with this gang.
Yes, because we take things literally.
At that point, even the hologram on the wall nods a little bit. He says, anyway, one of the devices, such as the device you saw on our captain's arm, is something that we use to communicate with each other, as well as, well, it can be used in combat, and it's how you locate where the package is going to go.
Is it so? It's like message.
No. It's, well, we call them devices. It's an electronic thing that you'll wear on your arm.
Is it a talking book?
You could kind of use it as one. And at that point, a set of robotic arms rises up from the back of the cabinet, reaches into a small drawer, and pulls out something that we in the real world would recognize. It's round, about, 2 inches round, flat, black. Looks like it has a rotating dial and a glass disc in the center. He's like, we call it the Self-Monitoring and Recovery Telecommunicator with Active Tactical Command Hub.
I just went blank.
Honestly, they're sort of parsing it for a moment. That's like, okay, well, what do you really call it?
Well, the captain says it's kind of silly to shorten the names, but I call it the smartwatch.
Well,
What's a watch?
Is it an animated object?
Like,
oh yeah, I think
Oh,
yeah,
intelligence?
yeah,
What does a watch do?
I knew a thief who actually used one once. They use it. It has like little gears inside, and they use it to keep track of time. He used all the.
Like
It's a
a
sundial!
Sure, why not?
So it's a smart sundial.
It's an intelligent sundial.
it's like, well, it's more than a sundial, but
It's intelligent.
Like, okay, who wants the first one?
Or
We'll
did somebody
just go
cast
from there.
Awaken on it?
All right, first him,
Yes.
then I'll take mine.
Okay. Is your name all one word?
Yes.
Silverstone?
Silverstone.
All right.
Or you can go by Broken.
Nah, we'll go by Silverstone. I don't know. It just seems less
Informal.
informal, I guess.
One's a childhood name. Became a nickname.
Fair enough.
That's literally what it is.
No, the robot arm reaches out, takes hold of the bottom of your arm. It says, "Well, this may sting just a little."
Pain. I'm used to pain. Ha ha.
And he takes the little black device and lays it down on the top of your wrist, where you would generally wear a watch if you knew what a watch was. After a few seconds, a searing pain begins to dig into your arm as the bottom of the watch literally digs into your arm and attaches itself to the bones in your forearm at the wrist. So you can't lose it, because it's expensive. As well as something cold begins to feel like it's running up through the veins in your arms. And then slowly... No, you're not.
It beats your resistance.
It beats your resistance, because it's not cold. That might be what it would feel like if it's on the inside. Like, something feels like it runs up your arm.
It's what's on the inside that matters.
Well, in this case, yes. And after a few seconds, takes over your entire body before dissipating as if nothing happened. And miraculously, the pain that was in your arm is gone, but the device remains.
I asked the arms, what happens if this gets put on you?
Like, we don't need one, because that's what our positronic brain is for.
You went a little tense there. Is everything okay?
It's like being stabbed. I'm fine.
I don't know about what it is.
I've been stabbed before. You don't. That's being stabbed and being fine is not do not belong together. They do not mesh.
I lean over to her and I'm like, he is from that clan, but I
speak loud enough for the.
I think he's from the clan Bondage too.
Just say it. Be like, he leans over and whispers, but I have to yell it into the microphone.
Did you ever go to Hilga's House of Pain? Willingly?
I knew a man named Hugo who caused a lot of pain, but
Yep.
I understand they're confused.
Well, the image on the screen chuckles and says, "All right, who's next?"
Oh, better go.
I point to him.
I'll do it. Fine.
Well, same as for Silverstone. The robot reaches out, takes hold of your arm, gently places the little black disc against your arm. You feel the searing and the stinging for a few seconds as if something is biting you.
I'm grimacing and like just grunting as.
And
I
you
don't
feel-
like it.
And you feel that same weird cooling sensation running up your arm, then through your chest, through the entire body. And then, instantly, it's all gone.
Okay, I'm gonna cast detect evil on this device too, and just to kind of sort of feel over it a little bit. I'm casting this. That's more to feel better about it myself than anything.
Sure, why not? Roll a dice. Roll a
Alright.
D number.
Okay, I rolled a 14 plus my if I have wisdom modifier, that would probably be like a +2, so I was 16.
It's okay. The device is not evil. I just
Yeah,
wanted you to
it-
roll a dice and waste a spell slot. I mean, hey, you're free to do what you want. It's not evil.
Yeah, no, this more felt like there would be more my character choice.
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't want to do it.
At that point, the image on the screen just kind of chuckles, and the little robot arms just kind of, the little hand waves like, "Come on,
I don't want
come
to.
on,
No.
like, come on."
It's like every kid at the doctor ever. I don't want this shot, mommy. No.
Be
You
like,
get a book if you do it.
like, yes, this will allow you to access the digital library of the ship. It only hurts for a few minutes.
Be a dragon. Do it.
I'm a dragon.
You will be eventually.
But I
Perfect world. All dragons.
want the library, but I don't want to get hurt. But I want the library.
There's
Just
dirty
hurry up
book-
and do it.
There's dirty books in there. Trust me. Ask him. And I point to him.
Like, yes, for Twilight.
No, I think this place is pretty clean. I haven't really seen much dirt in here.
I don't get the feeling Silverstone is literally just nothing but innuendo. That's it. He knows nothing but pornography and
Yep.
masochism. That's it.
Yep.
Because this is going well so far. We should hit the top of the charts in no time.
Wait until we get in our game.
This is true. Oh god, imagine us trying to do this at a con of some sort.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, the robot arms reach out and take hold of Twyla's arm and place the disc upon the wrist.
I turn my face away like I don't want to watch.
And yes, here comes the grabbing and the pinching and the stinging and the cooling rush. And 10 seconds later, it's gone. As if-
Tell
as
me
if
how to
nothing happened.
activate the library. As I flail in my arm.
Actually, it's anime flail of the arm.
Oh yeah, like the bird.
The little tears coming from the eyes. And the little booger bubble coming from the nose.
Anyway,
Hentai tentacles behind.
One day.
one day, dun dun dun. Anyway, he tells you, "All right, go ahead, and you'll find 2 buttons on the side, one on one side, one on the other. Like,
Right.
press the 2 buttons and hold them together for a few seconds."
Oh.
I've already did it.
After a few seconds, the screens light up. It goes through. It's typical software
Bring me to
loading
the
sequence,
library.
Loading. 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 I don't know what the word means.
and it
Loading.
just says "Welcome." And then it just shows icons on the screen. He's like, "Now, do you want to go through the tutorials on how to use this, or should we just skip ahead?"
Sorry, give me a second.
I want the library.
It says loading. Microsoft.
This runs the most stable system ever, Microsoft Vista.
It's Surface.
Yeah, I don't think those two over there have the patience to go through any sort of tutorial at the moment, I'm afraid.
I'll go. I'm all good.
Not
It's up
this
to you guys.
library over here.
But I wanted the library. You told me I could.
Well, we put like the library into the tutorial system somehow, like mix them together.
It's like you don't even want to hear about the cool device, do you?
Well,
Oh,
I guess.
I kind of
Yeah.
need to know before I can break it. I mean, use it.
You can't break this. Well, let's put it this way. You might not want to break it.
Break off your arm.
You can add it to your sheets if you wish. It is a permanent item that you are now imbued, I suppose, with.
Smartwatch.
A smartwatch. And here's the thing that I was talking with you about, and I figured out like the stat numbers on how to
Smart
make it work.
sundial.
Yes, I guess smart sundial. He will give you the quick rundown of how it works. There are, aside from the telecommunications, and this is one of the things that so many D&D games drive me nuts with, is the first thing that they always want to do, let's find magic communicating stones, or let's do this, or let's do that. No, I'm just giving you guys walkie-talkies from day fucking one. Done. Okay? You have walkie-talkies now.
Hooray.
Just wait until we break them and they only speak in our languages.
Well,
That would be
The-
funny.
next setting on there is a picture of a shield. This shield grants you +3 to your defense
When activated.
when activated. It takes 1 action and round to activate. You would turn to shield and then press the center. It provides a shield that is 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide, and you would hold it.
So these are Ben
Traditional
10
shield.
devices.
Eh.
Because it's turn the dial.
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to simplify it like that, yes. But it has the shield function. That works once a day for 10 minutes.
It is a 1D what?
It adds +3 to your defense.
Mhm.
You can use it as a shield would. You can use it to block hammer blows, sword blows. You could use it to block water, wind, etc., etc., etc. Like you would, a big wooden shield. Except this shield is made of
Light.
light. It is made of a bluish green translucent light.
Does this completely circumference us?
I
Or
just
is
told you
Right.
it is
Yeah,
3
right.
feet
Yeah,
tall by
okay.
2 feet wide.
I was...
It kind of looks like one of those, I guess, those police riot shield things, except it emits from your watch and you hold it in front of you. Or over your
Okay.
head, or whatever. Now that can be activated once a day, duration 10 minutes. So, a lot less than any battle normally actually takes in D&D. Once a day, it also has a healing function. It just has a little red plus on it. When activated, again, it takes 1 action and round to activate and use, and it gets it's 2d6 plus whatever your healing modifier
What should
is.
be your con mod?
Con mod, is that what it is?
Plus 2d6.
Yes. Yes, it is a sort of auto-inject stim pack for all the shit that I'm ripping off here, because so far I've ripped off, let's see, Doctor Who, Futurama, Star Trek, Star Wars, let's rip off Fallout 2. That can be activated twice every 24 hours.
2 times per day.
2 times per day. It is a constant communication device, obviously, between the 3 of you as well as the ship itself or anybody else wearing one of these devices that's in the same, I will say, universal area. Now, here's the cool thing. It has a 1 time a month charge that it just calls the dash charge. It is a teleport spell that will teleport you 100 yards in any direction, but it only works 1 time a month.
Okay,
So
since-
use it wisely.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely switch off that screen quickly.
Watch, you're gonna use it and teleport yourself 100 yards underground.
No, it's you up to 100 yards in an area you can see or a
Okay,
place
line
that
of
you.
sight.
Well, it's either line of sight or somewhere like if you
Where
came
you
out of a
been.
previous room, as
Yeah.
long as you have a good memory of it. And I only gave you 100 yards because you're not using this to cheat and I'll just go back to the ship. Click! Like, nope, you gotta think a little harder than that. And the final thing that these watches can do is called the nuclear option.
Screaming Mimi!
No.
All you Battletech people.
There are a few options that you can click. You'll ASCII, the AI for the computer, would go through describing how it works. But you would all have to set it on your devices. One person picks their device, it detaches, and you throw it at the enemy. You have 20 minutes to vacate the area and get at least a mile away.
But we'll get new ones, right?
You'll get a new one.
Airstrike.
Yes, this is basically the nuclear airstrike.
I don't like that. I had enough pain getting this thing on. I don't want to do it all over again.
Yeah, so don't use it. Again, that is the, we are literally about to die, and this is the only way to save, your life device.
Huh. All right. I mean, it's a nice watch, too. I mean, does it actually tell time, though?
Like, yes, there are screens that tell things like time, date of the plane you're in.
Question.
It will change. It will show star dates, star times.
In normal D&D games,
Yes.
there are so many levels where we can get a stat point to
Yes.
raise our stats.
Yes.
Are we going to be able to get stat points, or do
Yes.
reading books will increase our intelligence and
That
stuff?
that we will get to when y'all get there, but in a nutshell, that's what the holodecks are for. Is
Okay.
I'm going to use it because unlike a lot of traditional D&D games where you do dungeon crawls here, then you do this there, then you do this here, then you do that there, and you level up. This one you won't quite have as many of those. I mean, yes, you'll go through, you'll crawl your dungeon, deliver your thing, and then you're kind of back to the ship to off on your next adventure. We will use the sort of holodeck as a training interlude.
Mm-hmm.
That way you'll be able to do your training, you'll be able to do your leveling easier.
Now, Dragonborn still likes hordes.
Yes.
That's actually where the
The Elijah will work on that with you because he does have a horde room of his own, which you haven't seen yet.
okay.
But yes, he will give you one of the empty cubicle areas that you can use as a horde area if you have a biological need, which he understands because he has one.
Well, that's the thing. When we're out delivering, if I find shiny,
Yes.
I'm going to be grabbing it because
Just make sure you don't bring an angry army trying to get the shiny thing back following you. Otherwise, you might have to vacate a dimension quickly.
I'm just happy just to be not part of a venturing crew anymore. Wait, I am
you
one
are
now.
a party of adventuring crew.
Like, damn it!
I will inform you. I don't give a care, male or female, whatever, father like, whatever. It's mom, and it will continue
Are you
being
gonna try
that
to fuck it?
No. But that's literally what it is. It's an intelligence thing. It's not that he can't tell the difference. As far as he cares, mom.
Yeah, we might have to force some stat raises on you.
No, actually, legitimately, all red dragons that you've seen so far, and it's been quite a few, been all female. So as far as he knows, they don't make a male.
Like you haven't met Elijah and seen his undercarriage.
Reptiles of sorts, they don't dangle.
No, but when he gets excited, they can dangle. Oh yeah, wait, right. Crap, I forgot. We're supposed to keep this,
PG? 13?
PG.
I consider PG
Penis.
25.
Oh no, I've said a word.
And my character's a person who knows biology. They're medic after all, and
Well,
he knows what to look at. And
clan screwing kind of forces that.
You are forever going to be from clan screwing. From clan screw it. That is written up in your character profile. After your devices are installed on your bodies and he gives you the rundown of how to use them, he takes everybody back up to the bridge, where Captain Elijah is now in his uniform. And yes, the captain is wearing a uniform as well. As interestingly as it is to see a 22-foot red dragon in a blue t-shirt. He's not wearing any pants. He's Donald Duck in it, but,
I'm figuring I'm
Full
doing the
Winnie
same
the
thing.
Pooh.
Oh yeah, he's Winnie the Pooh in it!
You mean full Pooh Bear.
Pookin.
Pookin!
The first thing that he tells you is he addresses Twyla and points over to a small console on the wall. It says, "Now, I know you guys probably felt the little things that we put inside your bodies, right?
What?
Yeah, we kind of
Was that the searing pain bit or like the harsh chill bit?
Oh, that was the harsh chill bit. We kind of filled you guys full of nanites.
What? That doesn't sound good.
You know there's medication and creams for that.
Yeah, I know that too. I mean, this is a really bad disease vector. You know that, right? I mean, blood.
Are you
things don't
familiar
form.
with these?
I'm a combat medic. I know all about infection.
I smile.
I don't.
At that point, Aski does not know what to actually do anymore. He's just like, okay, I don't know how to deal with this. He's like, okay. He's like, I tried to explain it, nanites, but I'm trying to explain it to a bunch of ye olde toddlers. And we just mentioned the word penis.
I haven't had anything put into me like this since I was in the nest.
Oh, kinky.
Haven't you ever watched birds feed each other?
Oh, ew! Yucky, not kinky. Well, I mean, I guess in some circles that's kinky, but no.
In some places, that's still, if it's a worm, it's still considered tentacle porn.
And there goes our PG-13 rating. Bye-bye!
I told you it was going to be broken.
Anywho, Captain Elijah chuckles a little and says, okay, we kind of put nanites inside you because that's the easiest way to do things like heal your bodies when you're damaged. And we can do things like, like this. He reaches over and pecks a few buttons on the screens, and each of you inside your brains feels a very strange sensation come over you. It almost feels as if you're rushing forwards and backwards at the same time. It lasts for 3 seconds, and then it's gone. And as you look around the room, suddenly, all of the consoles and buttons and signage that you couldn't read before because it looked like it was in runic gibberish is now clear as day. You can read the signs that say caution, stairs, doors, lights.
Whoa.
It says, yes, Twyla, this is what you'll need to access the library. Oh, by the way, would you like to see it?
Yes!
He points over to a console that has a large view screen on it. And on the screen, he just says, well, what would you like to read?
Do you have a list?
He said, oh, yes!
All the books.
I start with the first.
Like, literally, the list begins to scroll on one side of the screen. Scrolls down to the bottom, back to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, to the top.
She starts at the letter AA.
You would have to start at A.
That's the one I started
One.
at. That's the one I started at.
It's funny, because this is now hentai.
Shut up, Mike. He's like, well, what would the rest of you guys like to do for now? Because it's going to take a few hours to prepare for hyperjump. What we have to do is we have to go back to the Tinkerers real quick and pick up the thing we need to deliver from the oracles. But I don't want to bore you.
Like, I'm looking just to get some rest tonight, I think, because from what it sounds like, we're coming in for a pretty good excursion coming up pretty soon.
Like, excellent. It's like, well, would you guys like to do the hyper jump now or later?
I just continue reading.
Good anytime you are.
It's like, Twyla, Twyla,
What?
you want to do the jump?
Sure, why not?
Well, we need you guys to sit in that chair over there.
All of us? Same chair?
Aw.
No, 3 chairs.
Thank
There's
God.
screens on the chairs.
Okay, she runs over and pushes them out of the way.
Like,
Get
down
there
on the
first.
sides of each of the chairs, there are it's the little Star Trek-y little,
I'm picturing I'm sitting in the chair normal. She's got her feet slightly off the ground and, he's laying in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, each of the chairs has a 5-point harness that you're going to have to buckle into.
No jokes.
No jokes. Put the
I
harness on because now you're in one.
I'm just thinking all the jokes.
You're good. As long as you're thinking of not saying them, I'm
All
happy.
jokes.
Put the lotion on the skin or else you
I knew that was coming at some point.
Hyper Chubby slips out.
It puts the lotion in the fucking basket! Anywho, as soon as you guys are all buckled in, Elijah walks over to the large overhead harness, hoiks his back up into it, and buckles himself in. Around the floor, all the little Wallies and Roombas all seem to zip away into little cubes under the cabinets, underneath consoles. And Elijah pecks a few buttons on the screen and grabs the control yoke and pushes it forwards all the way. Nothing appears to happen with the movement. However, some of the gauges on the screen off to the side that register things like speed, distance, temperature, and etc. But the one that catches your eye is the speed. It went from 0.0 to climbing rapidly. First in tens.
Some type of an equation.
It's over 9,000!
It went well over 9,000. It climbed first in tens, then hundreds, then thousands of miles per hour. Or, I guess I'll have to look up what space speeds is. I'm just using miles per hour because I'm America. We're using the standard system here, damn it.
Equations.
I don't know.
Literally.
I don't
Equations.
know. I don't know how to do it, so we're doing it in miles per hour. That's what we're doing. If you don't like it, you do the math yourself.
Still an equation.
The numbers on the screen quickly climb until eventually it reaches over almost 2 million miles per hour, which is also roughly the speed of light. On the back of the ship, at the central bell for the thrusters, 3 rings begin to rotate rapidly. 3 nozzles begin to inject what looks like plasma that drags along the surface of the counter-rotating rings and turns into a hot purplish blue plasma that envelops the bell and then slowly moves forwards to the outside of the ship.
You know, guys, I think this is the part where the harnesses come in.
A loud hum can be heard through the entirety of the ship as the bluish plasma begins to cover over the view screen in front.
Not coming out until they say that it's okay. That we've come to a full and complete total
She probably
stop.
doesn't even realize it's happening. She's just reading.
This is true. Elijah chuckles lightly and turns and looks at the 3 of you and says, "You guys are going to love this." And and on the screen, a 5 appears, and a countdown starts. As the countdown gets to 1, a beam of plasma shoots straight ahead of you into space, seemingly at nothing, until suddenly a bright white dot appears in the center of the screen that gets larger and larger and larger until eventually it looks like you're actually passing through it. Once you're in it, you're in a tunnel filled with colors, lights, wisps of energy and electricity that are passing around the ship.
You know, I had mushrooms that did this to me.
As the ship passes through the tunnels, it passes past cloud-like formations, which cause the ship to shudder ever so lightly. That you can something you can feel in your chairs. You know, sort of like plane turbulence. He flies forward for several minutes like this, until eventually what appears to be a black dot, a jet black dot in the center of the colorful tunnel begins to appear. And just as you flew into it, after a minute, you're flying out of it, and he pulls back the yoke all the way. The outer azipods on the ship rotate and counterfire, and you go from the speed of light to only several thousand miles per hour before he begins to navigate in a direction that changes and updates on the map on his screen. He chuckles and turns to the 3 of you and nods. He says, "You've just made your first dimensional jump. How'd you like it?"
Bah.
Well, I'm alive. I guess that counts for something.
It's like, I hope you guys don't plan on being home anytime soon, because you're now, well, the furthest part of your universe that you could go to, and then we did that about 6 more times. So, like, get ready to see the Tinkerers. In the distance, something that looks like a bright star begins to appear as you fly towards it rapidly. The closer and closer you get, the reddish-blue star that he notes is a neutron star comes into view, and he pulls the yoke back to stop the ship, or to bring it to a very slow crawl. In front of you, surrounded by this neutron star, which appears to be encased in materials that resemble glass and metal, almost in a spider web of caging around the star. The star extends 8 branches, and at the end of the 8 branches are large round pods, where each of the different workshops, which he will come to explain, which we'll explain in our next episode. And he chuckles and says, "Welcome to the IGTDS headquarters." And that's where we'll end our episode.
Cute.
And if we had things like email and feedback and anything, this is where we would do them.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. So this is where we're going to end our episode.
Because I'm falling asleep.
Yes. And we don't have Twitters or anything yet, which we'll have to do. So everyone, thank you for listening to episode 0, or 1, I guess, depending on your perspective,
1.5.
of This End Up, a podcast that takes Firefly, dips it into D&D, puts it in a blender with Futurama, and hits frappe. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time on episode 2.